Welcome into the official. We have a great show for you tonight, as always. But we're going to keep going with the mock draft. So we have done two full mock drafts, 4 rounds each. We are in the middle of mock draft number 3. We have done rounds 1 and 2. And this week, we will be going into rounds 3 and 4 of mock draft 3.0 in this off season or this pre-draft season. I guess not really the off season. College games are happening. High school games are happening. We have been bringing you up to date, up to week information on how these recruits are doing, what kind of seasons they're having. Guys are falling down, guys are creeping up the rankings, and we'll see how that reflects tonight in mock draft 3.0 rounds 3 and 4. Without further ado, this is the official. All right. We got the crew here. Matt, David, thanks for coming in. We ready to do a little drafting? And I feel like it's been a while, but I think we're on typical schedule. But it just feels like it's been a while since we did that mock draft first round 1 and 2.
Yep, same pace, but I always love these episodes. They're nice and easy for us.
Yeah, don't require tons of foresight. Although I will say I have been updating my rankings a little bit, reordering, shuffling guys based on the information. Last week was quite eye-opening for a few running backs that I liked. Sadly, they had to get bumped down. So we'll bring up the draft sheet we've been using. We've got rounds 1 and 2. And we will just keep it going with rounds 3 and 4. Who's up first? We got Matt.
I am. Yeah. So this is actually an easy pick, as you said earlier. A lot of guys moving up and down. Last episode, I talked all day about Aaron Butler, and I take him here as a pretty obvious pick. If you didn't watch last week's episode, he's just had a stellar season. He looks improved, everything I could ask for. And the next one of these, where we start fresh on a mock draft, he'll be going much earlier.
All right. So Aaron Butler creeping, possibly next time will be in the first 2 rounds. I know you said last week, I think you said he's like your wide receiver 4, which could make him a first round pick in one of our future mocks. David, so Matt probably took the biggest riser. Who are you going to go with here?
Yeah, so I could go a lot of different ways because things are starting to drop off for me. I think I'll just go with my next highest graded tight end. I'll just go with Michael Smith because I have a bit of a drop off after that. I don't know. He's doing fine this year. He's still averaging over 20 yards per catch, has four touchdowns in 3 games, so he's still producing well. And then I just wanted to snag another tight end.
Yeah, that South Carolina, they're looking like they've been drafting guys, or they've been signing guys we like in the last 2 classes, and they got a few guys in this class that we like as well. Okay, I'm going to go with this pretty easy pick here. We talked about him last week. He's having a great start to the season. Cam Coleman. I don't believe he's been taken, and I will take him here.
No, he was taken the first.
By me? By
think,
Matt.
No. You think Cam Coleman is making it this late?
Well, I looked at the sheet and I didn't see him. All right. Let's go with honestly, my QB4 as it stands, even though he didn't go to the Elite 11, even though I think it's just we've talked a lot about this class. Give me Walker White. He's still my QB4, and I like him here, a guy with tremendous upside and, should have early playing time opportunities at Auburn. Matt, back to you.
All right. I'm going to go with Ethan Grunkmeyer here, quarterback going to Penn State. A lot of quarterbacks have fallen down my board so far this season, and he's one of the few that's actually gone up. So he's actually sitting pretty solidly in my top 10 now, I believe. In my QB6, I think, just because everyone else around him has just fallen. He's like the only one left really in that range. So yeah, I like him. I think he's got good pro upside. He's got good fit, good build, good arm. I think there's a lot to like there. Going to Penn State, he can pretty easily succeed Aller there.
All right, that sounds good to me. David, you are up next with the 305.
I'll go with Jason Brown. He is he's a guy I've liked from the get-go pretty much. He's actually off to a pretty hot start. He's averaging like over 20 yards per carry so far. Not against good competition, but he looks good so far. Hoping to get lucky with his landing spot, which is sort of up in the air because he was expected to commit to Michigan State. Now their whole coaching staff is sort of in flux. But he's also considering Washington and Oregon, which would be fine landing spots as well. So I don't know, like the player, and sort of he could end up in a good spot, hopefully.
All right, and that leaves me next. I'm going to go with a wide receiver. Again, I'm pretty positive he hasn't been taken. Now, Matt's going to probably get upset, but I know he's a guy Matt likes quite a bit. And, you know, speaking of Grunkmeyer and Drew Aller looks pretty good. Give me Tysier Denmark, who should have a good quarterback throwing to him. And I know Matt loves this guy, and Matt has told the story, but if it's, you know, if you're tuning in for the first time, he's going to the same high school that Marvin Harrison Jr. went to, and his high school coach has said he's the best receiver that he has coached, if I'm recalling correctly. So he's going up my
most complete.
Most complete. Okay, so he's moving up my boards, and you know I'm kind of just generally believing a little bit more in that Penn State, you know, offense to have some staying power. I'm starting to believe in Grunkmeyer a little bit, and so Aller will pass the torch, and Denmark should have a good QB for his tenure there at Penn State. Back to you, Matt.
All right. Oh, and also Denmark did end up transferring to a different high school, Imhotep, which is also out in Philly.
Okay.
I don't know. He did end up leaving that offense. It was kind of weird, but
a little bit.
I will go with. I'm just gonna go quarterback in, and I'm gonna go Damon Williams. Like I said, everyone else has kind of fallen, and he has looked great this season. He flipped to Arizona. He's going to be, you know, a major CFF, threat. I think in college. I think you're gonna get 4 years of, 3 or 4 years of great production. Probably not, you know, an NFL guy, but I think it'll be worth it while he's in school.
Okay, so we got a few previous NAs on the list here. You know, we're digging deep down into the bag. So, all right, David, you're up 308. We're looking at.
I'll go with Luke Gromenhoek. He really hasn't put up big numbers or anything this year yet, and his team is 4-0. It's sort of like he's relatively young to the position type thing, and he's got some tools, and hopefully he turns it on towards the end of the year here. If he doesn't, then I just probably won't be selecting him in other mocks, but there's still some untapped potential, I feel like.
All right. Sounds good. I'm going to take a guy. I mean, this might be early, but I like the player, and we're in the third round. He's 225-pound running back, going to an offense that's produced some running backs in the last few years. Braylon Russell, give me the big back out of Arkansas. And, he's got good speed. I think he's kind of complete, although, I've been proven wrong by some of these other bigger guys, David Eziomume and Cameron Jones, who have fallen on their face this year as seniors. But I have not heard that Braylon Russell is doing poorly. So hopefully, he'll be the big back that I can hit some gold here with. Matt, 310.
I'll be going Frankie Arthur here, running back, UCF. We've talked about him before, little brother of Adrian Peterson, former Vikings running back. He also has very great, athletic testing himself, 10.6 100-meter guy, about 200 pounds. I think there's a lot to like there. Not playing the highest level of Texas football, but it seems like he's off to a decent start this season, and that UCF offense is pretty running back friendly. So I'm pretty on board with him.
I think that's a nice pick. Yeah, I mean, and UCF technically a Power 5 team now, and I think for CFF at least, that's probably a great spot. All right, David, you're up 311.
So this is a fragile pick. I'm gonna go with Jordan Lyle here. I rewatched him. I just think he's like I think this running back class lacks a lot of burst, and I just think he has really good burst and agility, which is a really good starting point for a running back. He's not a multi-sport guy, and he goes to like a powerhouse high school at St. Thomas Aquinas, but so he's probably in the weight room quite a bit year round, you would think. And so gives me some hesitation that he's still only listed like 185, 190, especially for a guy who's like 6 foot. So I don't know if he's got more of like a slender frame, because you would hope that he was like 200 by now. And he can't really catch passes. So that's kind of a knock there too. But as far as like running goes, like, I don't know. He checks boxes there for me. He's got good vision as well. So I'll roll the dice, and hopefully if you can get a good workload at Ohio State, you're probably going to be productive.
Yeah. I always like St. Thomas Aquinas players for sure, but I agree on the lightweight there. A little concerning. Speaking of a guy we're not too worried about weight, give me Jason Patterson. Since we're dipping into the UCFs of the world, he's going to Cincinnati. But again, for CFF, we should not be worried. In fact, it's probably a great landing spot. He is an absolute uber producer, just sensational statistical production. He's 21.9 clocked, I believe, top speed. So, and he's over 200 pounds. This isn't that difficult. The one thing that I would say, not tons of wiggle side to side agility, but very, very fast in the straight line, 200 pounds, and going to an offense that should have no problem letting him tote that rock. So we like that. And you know what? Let's just make this back-to-back Cincinnati. We'll go Samaj Jones, a guy I like at quarterback, very, very fun player. Both these picks are probably, CFF, with a CFF mentality. Yeah, I don't know if either one we can say is like an NFL bound guy that we feel very good about that. But at this point in the draft, you're not really going to get that anyway. So, this could be a 1-2 punch out in Cincinnati for the next 2 or 3, 4 years. And Samaj Jones he's got a lot of tools. He's very fun. Over to David for the 402.
I'll go with Ryan Wingo here on potential. His charting is real bad, and he like rounds his routes and not crazy refined or anything. But he's a big athletic dude that moves real well, and so far he's been pretty good as a senior. He's been making tons of plays, so I'll just roll the dice on him because there's like NFL traits there at least.
We like NFL traits. Back to Matt. 403, it looks like.
Yeah, I'll be going Nitro Tuggle here. He's been having an awesome season. Georgia commit out of Indiana. There's just not many guys that can move like him laterally, especially at his size. Special player after the catch. So I'm just gonna rely on those traits there.
That's a good pick. I wish I would have thought of that one. Solid job. Okay, give me. Don't like the landing spot, but at running back, I feel like running back's a position that like landing spot may not always be the biggest deal unless it's a huge depth chart issue. Not that worried about system. I mean, if you're a good running back, you're a good running back. I kind of like what I see from Kevin Riley. A little bit of a red flag is from Tuscaloosa, and not really going to Alabama, not going to Auburn, not staying in the Southeastern Conference. He's going to Miami. But in terms of just grade, what I see on tape is about 200 pounds. I have liked what I have seen from Riley. Looks like he had an Alabama and Auburn offer, but ended up committing to Miami. That depth chart looks very unimpressive. So, could be a guy who gets a shot at least. And yeah, I like what I've seen. Over to David with the 405.
Let's see. I'll go with. I'll throw in. Oh, I don't want to do that either. It's starting to get kind of murky here. I'll just go in with Kewan Lacey. I don't know. He's been playing really well so far as a senior. He's another guy where it's like, yeah, he's got the explosiveness that I'm looking for. I do think that he's pretty tight-hipped and he runs pretty high, which I don't love that, but he still manages to break tackles. So I guess I can't complain too much. And, he's got pretty good size and he'll fill out some more. And Nebraska, I don't know. I don't really know what I think about the landing spot, but they don't have a ton of talent there, I don't think.
No. I mean, I think Gabe Ervin, that's honestly about it. So should have plenty of opportunity. And I really like him. I was hoping to snag him even later. So nice pick. I'm glad he's rising up our ranks a little bit. Say that again?
I think all of us were looking at him here in this range. He was going to go soon for me, too.
Yeah. All right, Matt, you're up for the 406.
Yeah, I'm going to go Perry Thompson here. I haven't, sung praises about him all season.
Wait a minute. I've got Perry Thompson.
Oh, is he on the
207, baby.
Oh, never mind. I did not expect him to go round 1 or 2 for us. Okay. I will go.
I like him.
Can't go yet, baby. No, okay. Another guy that I've kind of soured on lately, that I've been souring on, David Ezio-Mume.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he did not go earlier. David, you have him, or Alfred, you have him as a tier 1 player.
He's gotten knocked down. I told you I updated grades.
He did have a 200-yard week last week, so he's not, totally done. And I like him. I didn't like him quite as much as you guys.
Yeah,
but I think
he fell down into mid tier 2 for me now, though.
I think this is a good range for him around here, 4th, 3rd round. I think good value, athletic player, could be the next workhorse back for Clemson.
All right, and I'm up next. Okay, give me another guy who I think could wind up being a workhorse back. Is Matthew Fuller. He's having a good start to the season. He's a bigger guy. He's fast. He's a kind of a tank. And he's going to South Carolina where, they could certainly use a feature back. They haven't really had one in a while. And, I just think that I like what they're doing in South Carolina. I know they got kind of blown out, I guess, by UNC in last week. But I think they're slowly building a culture there, building a team. And I think the future's bright on offense in general. Lenore Sellers looks pretty good. And so they should be building something there. I like Matthew Fuller here. It's top 15-ish running back for me, actually. Who's next? David, you are here up with 408.
All right. I still have Josiah Trader right at 0.7, so he's the last guy on my tier 2 for receivers. I don't know how I feel about that, honestly, because his charting isn't very good. And he's pretty much been injured as a senior. Like, I don't think he's really played much at all. Or he played in the first game, I think, and he just didn't do anything. But I don't know. Everyone in the industry loves this guy for the most part, and Miami looks more fun now, like as an offense. So I think internal competition won't be like too tough. I think if he is a good player, I still want to see his senior tape once he gets back on the field and evaluate him further. But anyways, Miami's got a more fun offense, so maybe he'll be good in that.
Fair enough. That sounds good. All right, Matt. You're up, and then we got one more pick each. You're up at 409.
All right. I'm going to go Jeremiah McClellan here, going to Ohio State. I originally kind of dropped him down a bit because I don't think he's ever going to be the lead receiver there at Ohio State, but he's just such a good player. He had a great offseason. He's had a great start to the season so far. Incredibly well-rounded guy. I think he'll end up eventually playing it a slot there. But I mean, we'll see. It's kind of a dark horse situation there going into the Ohio State wide receiver room. A lot of names, a lot of guys we love there. I think down the line he could definitely make an impact there. I'm hoping at least.
All right, that's a new name. We got a lot of NAs on this list from previous drafts. Okay, so I have one more pick, and I got 2 tight ends last time. I don't feel like I need another tight end. I got 2 top end guys. I don't really. I feel like maybe stacking another quarterback just in hoping. One guy I like a lot of the tools, Jakari Williams. He's ranked fairly high for me. Going to Syracuse, which is okay, but I think he's interesting. Dual threat guy, bigger guy, got a nice arm, and just banking on some traits there. Looks like I drafted him exactly. Someone drafted him exactly right here last time. That's wild. But yeah, so give me Jakari Williams, and I'm happy with that. Stacking quarterbacks, you just never know who's going to pop. So then David, 411.
Yeah, I'll scoop Will Hammond. I do like that Micah Hudson committed to Texas Tech because he's really good and he can just throw it to him every play. So that's good for fantasy.
Yeah, that's good. I like Will Hammond. I just looked at my flat grades, and Williams is ranked ahead of him, but I need to do some more tweaking and stuff because he's kind of buried right now. I probably need to update that for Will Hammond. All right, Matt, bring us home. 412.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go Zion Kearney here. I think someone else we probably haven't drafted yet.
Yeah.
Committed to Oklahoma. He has good testing numbers. His charting came out pretty good. I don't exactly love the Oklahoma spot. We'll see how they do the rest of the season. But I think he has the ability to go in there and eventually be, their wide receiver 1, and he has the athletic upside to be a decent NFL player.
Well, I don't mind Oklahoma. I mean, I don't know if you just don't like, is Levy the OC? So maybe you don't like
I just
Levy,
don't think the offense can probably only support one guy. So
yeah,
if he becomes that one guy, sure.
Yeah.
But they're also getting a bunch of other wide receivers. So and they have talent.
But I like Arnold. I think Arnold.
I love
probably.
Arnold.
Arnold seems quite good, and Dylan Gabriel, I guess, will be his last season. And yeah, I don't mind it. All right, so round 4, as it's been in each of the mocks, we're looking at brand new guys start showing up in rounds 3 and especially round 4. As other guys fall, new guys are really coming up. We're feeling more comfortable, I think, with some of these guys who might have started out as 3 stars, but now we're bumping them up and starting to feel comfortable taking them in the 4th round. So as a refresher here, recap, Matt took Aaron Butler, who probably is not going to be available in the 3rd round next time we do this. Then we had Michael Smith, tight end, Walker White, Ethan Grunkmeyer, Jason Brown, Tyseer Denmark, Demond Williams, Luke Kromanowick, Braylon Russell, Frankie Arthur, Jordan Lyle, Jason Patterson, Samaj Jones, Ryan Wingo, Nigerian Tuggle, which might have been the pick of the draft. I really like that spot at 403. Kevin Riley, Kwan Lacey, David Iziomume, Matthew Fuller, Johisa Trader, Jeremiah McClellan, Jakari Williams, Will Hammond, and rounding it out with Zion Kearney. So who do you think in that 4th round creeps up into the 3rd or even into our version of day 1 in that 2nd round? Do you think Tuggle should probably be – he's probably a riser for next time as well.
I don't know if Tuggle makes it into the 2nd round, at least not for me. But as I said, Aaron Butler, I mean, I'm not going to let him go out of the 1st round next time. So
yeah.
I mean, he's going to be the biggest one for sure.
I mean, Hammond, if he keeps going crazy, could work his way into the 3rd round, potentially replacing guys like Kromanowick or Grunkmeyer potentially. If he keeps looking really good. So yeah, I mean that's it for the mock 3.0 rounds 3 and 4. I like this exercise. I think it's very interesting. It just gives you a sense of how fluid these rankings are even going into senior season. I mean, we talked about these guys all summer, but when the lights come on senior year, we are going to make some changes and some significant changes. Then there's still top end guys that we're a little bit waiting to see. Like, I think Jeremiah Smith is kind of one of them. Joe Trader's a 5-star that David's still not convinced about, and I don't think any of us are. So, really fascinating. I think it's been a really good addition to the show. I cycle.
Feel like every time we do one of these, I think my rankings can't change that much, and then by the time we do it, it's just a totally different board.
Yeah, I think it's a really good exercise, and it's been eye-opening as well. So, well, gentlemen, we can wrap it up a touch early, and we'll do probably a weekly recap update over the last 2 weeks of high school next time. So be sure and tune in for that. All of our watchers, all of our listeners on the podcast feed. As a reminder, I know I'm saying it here at the end of the show, but homefield.com is a place that you can go get excellent NCAA merchandise, shirts, pants, sweatshirts, hoodies, hats, with a vintage flair. The team at Homefield goes and works with the universities to look at kind of some of their old aesthetics and really comes up with some good-looking retro-ish stuff, but really in the spirit of the school and the spirit of their mascot. And, anywhere from St. Peter's, who made that final Elite Eight run a few years ago, all the way up to your classics, Georgia, Bama, and Tennessee. So go there and enter Campus to Canton as your promo code. You'll get 15% off any your first purchase. And then also, of course, check out campus2canton.com. We have memberships starting as little as $2.99 per month. So much more than what we talk about on the official. This is just an offshoot of all of the stuff we have there for anything on the college fantasy football side, all the way to your NFL fantasy football side, and everything in between. As little as $2.99 a month, with subscriptions moving up from there. So if this is your first time ever hearing about us, thank you for watching. Go check out campus2canton.com. Without further ado, this has been, and wait for it, the official. We'll see you next week.